When they found that ancient Greek computer thing, what is that called?
The Antikythera mechanism.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, that testifies to a lost navigational skill that we have not taken account of before.
Incredibly complex, and it took a long time for them to figure out what that even is.
Yeah.
What do they think that is now?
It tracks the movements of the planets. It's a navigational device. It's a geared, cogged system that allows you to track the passage of time and figure out where you are. It's some kind of navigational device. It's not fully understood.
And
yet.
how old is that?
I think that goes back to Greek times. I'm guessing here because the Greek times are not of great interest to me, but I'm thinking around about 500 BC.
1901, a battered lump of green rock was hauled from the Aegean, and it was dismissed as debris until a glint of bronze broke the surface and revealed clockwork far too advanced for its time. This ancient puzzle, now called the Antikythera mechanism, is a computer from 150 BC. Technology history says it should not exist for another 1,000 years. How did precision so impossible end up lost on the seafloor, and what secrets it was built to keep? The answer will rewrite everything we thought we knew about the origins of science and the fate of forgotten genius. The Aegean sun beat down as the salvage crew hauled their heavy nets onto the deck. Among the marble statues and amphorae, a strange, lumpy mass clung to the ropes, a chunk of greenish stone crusted with barnacles and streaked with veins of bronze. It drew little attention at first. Most eyes lingered on the statues, their battered faces still echoing the grandeur of ancient Greece. But this calcified lump, weighing nearly 4 kilograms, was loaded into a crate and shipped alongside the treasures to Athens, tagged as little more than a curiosity. In the storerooms of the National Archaeological Museum, curator Valerio Stace examined the hall. He noticed the green rock had a curious fracture. Peering closer, he caught the glint of metal. Through the crust, a 4-spoked bronze gear peeked out, its teeth still sharp after centuries underwater. Stace described it as a sandwich, layers of metal pressed together, the meat and the cheese made of gears. This was not a statue, not a coin, not a weapon. It was something else entirely. Within weeks, the artifact split open further, breaking into 3 large fragments and dozens of smaller shards. Each fracture revealed more gears, tightly packed and interlocked, their design precise beyond anything known from the ancient world. The largest piece, later called Fragment A, measured just 18 centimeters by 15 centimeters, yet held 27 distinct gears. The fragments, now numbering 82, were catalogued and stored, their true purpose still a mystery. The journey from ocean floor to museum crate had preserved something extraordinary. The mechanism's bronze had corroded, fusing gears in place, but the intricate machinery within was unmistakable. This was not an accident of nature. Every tooth, every spoke, every etched line bore the mark of human intention. The object's authenticity was beyond doubt. It had lain hidden for nearly 2 millennia, protected by the sea, waiting for the right eyes to notice the impossible clockwork beneath its stony shell. In that moment, the Antikythera mechanism became more than a curiosity. It became a question, one that would haunt historians, scientists, and engineers for generations. Who built this machine, and what knowledge had vanished with it beneath the waves? Dating the Antikythera mechanism shattered every expectation about ancient technology. Laboratory analysis of the bronze, along with the style of the Greek inscriptions, placed its origin around 150 BCE. That date did not fit. For historians, it was as if a steam engine had been found in the ruins of Babylon. The established timeline of mechanical invention simply could not accommodate a device of this complexity in the ancient world. The gears inside the mechanism were not simple cogs. They were cut with mathematical precision, some with as many as 223 teeth, each interlocking to drive a cascade of motion. In the archives, scholars pored over records of medieval Europe, searching for anything remotely similar. The closest matches, astronomical clocks in cathedrals like Strasbourg and Wells, appeared in the 14th century CE. That left a gap of more than 1,000 years, an empty space where no such machines were supposed to exist. The implications rippled through the academic world. Leading journals published cautious reports. Some experts speculated about a lost lineage of engineers, others about a singular genius whose knowledge vanished with him. Derek de Solla Price called it a gear-driven computer, 1,000 years ahead of its time. Tony Freeth, who would later lead the UCL Antikythera project, described the device as a technological ghost, something that simply should not exist. The mechanism forced a reckoning. Was this a unique miracle or evidence of a forgotten tradition? How could a society produce such a machine, then leave no trace of similar devices for a millennium? The questions mounted. Some argued that the Greeks had reached a peak of mechanical understanding, only to lose it to war, collapse, and the slow grind of history. Others wondered if the evidence had simply vanished, melted down, recycled, or lie undiscovered in the ruins of other shipwrecks. What could not be denied was the gap. The Antikythera mechanism stood as an outlier, a bronze anomaly that defied every chart and timeline. Its presence demanded a new approach, one that would combine archaeology, engineering, and the latest scientific tools to probe its secrets. The stakes were no longer just about identifying a single artifact. They were about rewriting the history of human ingenuity itself. In 2005, a new era of investigation began inside a quiet laboratory at Cardiff University. The corroded fragments of the Antikythera mechanism, sealed by centuries of mineral buildup, were placed under the scrutiny of high-resolution X-ray tomography. Mike Edmonds and his team set out to see what the human eye could not. Their equipment, designed to scan turbine blades and aircraft parts, now turned its focus to ancient bronze. As the machine hummed to life, it sent beams through the stone, capturing thin slices, layer by layer, of the mechanism's hidden interior. The first images revealed a dense forest of gears, far more intricate than anyone had imagined. Dozens of bronze wheels, some barely thicker than a coin, were stacked and meshed in a compact network. The scans identified at least 30 distinct gears, each with a precise number of triangular teeth. Some gears were small and tightly packed, others larger, but all were arranged in an architecture that defied the simplicity of ancient tools. The tomography process allowed researchers to digitally peel away the crust, exposing the secrets locked inside. For the first time, engineers could trace the paths of gear trains and see how motion would have flowed through the device. The density of the mechanism, 30 gears in a box no larger than a modern laptop, stood out as a feat of miniaturization and complexity. Mike Edmonds described the experience as looking at a mechanical cosmos, frozen in time. The scans confirmed that this was not just a random collection of wheels, but a deliberate system designed to compute and display the movements of celestial bodies. The leap from a corroded stone to a sophisticated machine was now undeniable. The next challenge would be to interpret what these gears were meant to show, and how the ancients had engineered such a masterpiece with nothing but hand tools and mathematical insight. Under the crust of bronze and stone, a second revelation waited. High-resolution scans did more than expose gears. They uncovered words. Inscribed in Greek, the letters ran in tight, curling lines across the inner surfaces, some less than 2 millimeters high. These were not ornamental flourishes. They formed sentences, instructions, astronomical tables, a manual for the cosmos, hidden for centuries inside a ruined machine. Epigraphers, led by Tony Freeth and his team at University College London, spent years decoding these faint marks. The process was painstaking. X-ray tomography and polynomial texture mapping revealed over 2,000 characters, many buried deep inside the fragments. Each inscription offered a clue. On the back cover, the text described the dials and their cycles, naming the sun, the golden sphere, and the moon, the sphere, language that echoed Hellenistic astronomy. One passage, painstakingly reconstructed, reads as follows: "The golden sphere shows the position of the sun. The sphere shows the position and phase of the moon." These phrases were not poetic metaphors. They were practical labels, guides for the user. The sun pointer, gilded in antiquity, tracked its path through the zodiac. The moon sphere, driven by a complex train of gears, displayed both position and phase. The inscriptions walked the operator through the functions, how to set the date, how to read the cycles, how to predict eclipses. This was an instruction manual, written not for priests or philosophers, but for anyone who could turn the crank and read the sky. Tony Freeth described the moment the team realized what they were seeing. He said it was like discovering the user manual for the world's first computer written in the hand of its makers. The words confirmed what the gears had only hinted. The Antikythera mechanism was a deliberate mechanical model of the heavens. Its inscriptions transformed it from an enigma into a tool for understanding the universe, crafted with precision and meant to be used. Across the battered fragments of the Antikythera mechanism, one gear stands out for its subtle complexity, a bronze wheel with a small pin tracing a narrow slot. This is no ordinary gear. It solves a problem that puzzled astronomers for centuries: the moon's strange, uneven journey through the sky. Unlike the sun, the moon does not travel at a steady pace. Sometimes it races ahead, sometimes it lags behind, tracing an invisible ellipse around the Earth. In the 2nd century BCE, there was no calculus, no precise equations to describe this motion, yet the makers of the Antikythera mechanism found a way to model it using pure mechanics. The answer lies in a system known as epicyclic gearing. Here, one gear rides around another, its pin moving in and out of a curved slot. As the main gear turns, the pin follows a path that speeds up and slows down, mimicking the moon's actual behavior. Each rotation of the crank sets this miniature cosmos in motion, causing the moon's indicator to wobble, accelerate, and decelerate with uncanny accuracy. This is not just a clever trick. It is a physical solution to a mathematical problem that would not be formally solved until Johannes Kepler described elliptical orbits nearly 1,700 years later. The precision is astonishing. The gear in question has 223 teeth, a number chosen to match the lunar anomaly, the difference between the moon's mean and actual motions over a cycle of 223 months. By embedding this calculation in bronze, the ancient engineers turned abstract astronomy into something tangible and predictable. Each gear tooth, each pin and slot becomes a line of code written in metal. The mechanism does not just show the moon's position, it predicts its future, embodying a level of insight that bridges the gap between observation and computation. In this clockwork universe, the path of the moon is not left to chance, but rendered with the certainty of turning gears. A single dial, hidden on the back of the Antikythera mechanism, transformed the way the ancients understood the sky. This spiral scale, divided into 223 tiny cells, mapped out a cycle known to Babylonian astronomers as the Saros, a period of just over 18 years after which the pattern of eclipses repeats. Each cell represented a synodic month, and within many of them researchers found inscribed glyphs, simple Greek letters sometimes paired with cryptic symbols. These marks were not decorative. They were warnings and predictions, codes for the coming shadows. The mechanism's user could set the date and turn the handle. As the gears advanced, a pointer traced the spiral and landed on cells marked with special glyphs. One symbol, the Greek letter sigma, signaled a lunar eclipse. Another symbol, ETA, stood for a solar eclipse. Some cells included brief notes about the time of day or the direction in which the eclipse would be visible. Even more astonishing, certain glyphs predicted the color of the eclipse, whether the moon would darken to a deep red or fade with a pale shadow. This was more than a calendar. It was a tool for forecasting the moments when the heavens would seem to tremble. For priests, sailors, and farmers, eclipses had always carried the weight of omen and fear. The sudden blotting of the sun or moon could send crowds to the temples or drive fleets back to port. But with the Saros dial, the mysterious became knowable. The mechanism turned divine terror into a matter of mathematics and gears. Inscriptions explained the cycle and its repeating pattern, offering a sense of order where there had been uncertainty. The eclipse dial did not just track time, it gave its users a way to predict, prepare, and perhaps even defy the whims of the cosmos. Turn the crank, and the Antikythera mechanism comes alive, not just as a lunar and solar calculator, but as a miniature model of the cosmos itself. Researchers studying the battered fragments realized that the front face once displayed the known planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Each planet, tracked by its own gear train, moved along the zodiac, their paths carefully choreographed to match the uneven rhythms observed in the night sky. The ancient engineers faced a puzzle. Planets sometimes appear to move backward, looping through retrograde motion. To capture this, the mechanism used nested gears within gears, epicyclic assemblies that translated the planet's wandering courses into precise mechanical steps. Modern reconstructions, based on X-ray tomography and mathematical modeling, suggest a level of planetary simulation that rivals the astronomical clocks of the Renaissance, yet predates them by more than a millennium. But the Antikythera mechanism was not content to serve only the astronomers. On the back, a smaller dial quietly counted off 4-year intervals, the cycle of the Panhellenic Games. Inscriptions on the mechanism mentioned contests such as the Olympics, Nemean, and Pythian Games, each linked to a specific year in the cycle. A single gear, labeled O1 in the surviving fragments, advanced this dial. As the main calendar turned, the games pointer would move, signaling when the next festival would begin. For a society that measured time not just by the stars, but by civic and religious events, this was more than a convenience. It was a bridge between the heavens and the human world, binding the cosmic order to the rhythms of Greek life. The Antikythera mechanism stands as both a cosmic computer and a civic calendar. Its gears do not simply track distant planets, they synchronize the cycles of the universe with the festivals and gatherings that shaped ancient Greek society. In this clockwork cosmos, the movements of Mercury and Saturn, the scheduling of athletic games, and the passage of years all become part of a single, harmonious machine. Today, fragments of lost genius surface from the depths, challenging everything we assume about progress. As new technology reveals ancient precision, history's gaps become questions for our own future. What innovations might we overlook or let slip away? The Antikythera mechanism is a reminder. The line between lost and found is always one discovery away. What else waits beneath the surface? Share your thoughts below.